Hey everybody, this is Jessica Lynn from JessicaLynnOriginal Studios, which is the home of JessicaLynnOriginal.com. So today I thought what I would do is spend a little time doing some storytelling. I am working on a whole new series that I am excited to share with you, and you are going to start to see them show up on a regular basis, so I cannot wait. If you are brand new here, be sure to subscribe so that you are ready when those new pieces of content arrive. And if you've been subscribed before, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Now, a little bit about me. My name is Jessica Lynn. I am the owner and artist for the Jessica Lynn Original Studios with JessicaLynnOriginal.com company. I draw all of the art that you see, and I draw it with black ink pen. I'm very inspired by animation. When I was younger, I always thought I wanted to be a Disney animator, and don't get me wrong, there's still a part of me that wants that. But I draw with a heavy black ink pen, and sometimes I make mistakes. Sometimes the stamps work out pretty darn good. Either way, what happens is my stamps go through a couple of step process where we draw them by hand, I clean them up digitally, and then they're ready for use. So what I thought I would do was today I wanted to tell you a little bit more about how I got started. Now, if you've watched my Behind the Cards series, you've probably heard me tell the story, or at least in parts. And I started Jessica Lynn Original LLC back in 2005, which, I'll be really honest, seems like a lifetime ago. It was me as a newly married person, married to my wonderful husband, no kids yet, no pets at the time, and I decided that I wanted to do something, and I wasn't quite sure what. And my boss at the time, she did a lot of Close to My Heart and some other stamp companies, but that was her main one. And she said to me, you know, Jess, you should try and send your stamps over there. I mean, what's the worst that happens? They tell you no, right? But maybe they pick you up and you become an artist for them because you have a very cute, artistic, cartoony type style. I do a lot more realistic now, but I still love to do a lot of cute, cartoony stuff like what you see here, this cute little turtle. I just thought, you know what, let's create a little character and see what happens. And so I decided, okay, I'll go ahead and submit. I mean, what's the worst they do? They tell me no. And in true Marty McFly moment, right, I don't know if I could handle that rejection. Unfortunately, they said to me, well, that's really cute. I like your art. And this was probably around 2004 at the time. And I was kind of really sad because all of their art had sort of the same look. I mean, I still love it, but it all had the same look. And I thought, you know, you need something a little different. And I got really sad when I got the rejection letter. And I told my boss, I said, they didn't want my art. I don't know. And she goes, so that's it, you're done. And I said to her, well, what would I do? And she goes, go start your own company. Show them that they should have hired you in the first place. And I kind of laughed, came home, and within a couple of months, I went ahead and got my entire business set up. So I did my LLC, I got all of my bank accounts set, and I did all of that process, got it all ready to go, and said, okay, cool, I'm a company, now what? And I think that's, you know, small business owners definitely kind of get into that. You know, we start something and then go, wait a minute, where were we going? Where were we going with this? And it's where I was. You know, I didn't know what my next step was. And I decided at first that I wanted to do photopolymer stamps. Now, in 2005, we started the company official April 1st, and I totally said to my husband, that's the best joke of all, right? What a great day to start your company on. And I started going in and producing 8x10 sheets of stamps. So photopolymer stamps are typically run on a plate, for those of you who don't know. And we have all of ours created here, and all of the supplies we use are made from within the United States, and I'm extremely proud of that. So if you see stamps coming from any other country, please know that those are not ours. Now, art in the art world is stolen all the time. So please support your small business owners and, purchase from, wherever they say their approved vendors are. So I went ahead and I started creating 8x10 sheets of photopolymer stamps. Now, the downside to that was that I had to take in all the designs that I did, clean them up, put them onto a Word doc, if you will, organize them so that there was just enough space to cut them out, but also enough space that I could squeeze as many as I could on there, because I had to figure out the best way to be able to make as many as I could on an 8x10 sheet, because no matter what, the 8x10 sheet always costed the same amount. So we did that for probably 6 months, and it was really stressful because we would produce the stamps and then my husband and I would have to sit and physically cut them out. So we would watch different TV shows while we were cutting out all these stamps, and then we had to manually package them up. And I mean manually, like we would organize them by sets, put them with a plastic backing. We would go on our color printer and print off the cover pages. Very different, just when I think back, what a different world. So went ahead and for those of you that are watching kind of while I'm telling my story here, I went through, I scanned them in, cleaned them all up, and now I'm just going to go ahead and we're going to color him in, and then we'll turn him into a card. So this is very similar to part of the process that I go through, because I do develop a sample of each design that I do, because I want to troubleshoot what things I could see my customers, running into when coloring. Like, one thing that stands out to me right now is that he doesn't have a chin. So I might go back in and fix that in a moment. So we decided after 6 months of, cutting these out manually, organize them together, that selling them on our little Jessica Lynn Original website just was not getting enough. And so we started partnering with companies like Split Coast Stampers, which was a blog, which is still a very popular one. We started working with other people online to try and get our name out there. And then I found out there was a local stamp store, and he offered me the opportunity to put my stamps in the store. Now, of course, because we were a small business, not very well established, we ended up with not a very good rate with him. So we ended up giving them away for cheaper than we really wanted to, but we saw it as an opportunity for a local store to house our stamps, and then we could start promoting that way, which we thought would be really great. We did a lot of craft shows, which were tons of fun, and they always made, there we go, there's that chin. We always made pretty decent, return on our investment, and it was okay, but there was something not going the way we hoped. And so we decided to change things up, and I opened up an Etsy store. And my initial thought, now this is old school Etsy, right? So we're talking 2005. So for those of you that have been in Etsy now, go and research out what Etsy used to be. It was such a different store, because it really was a crafting environment for crafters by crafters. I mean, there were things where people would put, hey, I'm looking for this. And then people would submit their proposals of what they could do, kind of similar to what Fiverr does now, where you could submit your proposal of, hey, I can make you, this custom stamp for X amount of dollars. And so we started doing that with photopolymer, where we created a huge number of clear blocks that we actually gave with the clear photopolymer stamp, because a lot of people at the time didn't understand even what photopolymer was. And so we started doing that, and then we started about a year later. Things were kind of clicking along, small business. But I had started the company with $100, and I said if it could never support itself, then I'm not going to move forward with it. And the best part is even 16 years later, it has still always supported itself. So it's a really big milestone that I'm extremely proud of. So about a year in, we decided it was time to change things up a little bit, and we started producing red rubber stamps. Now, it was a big investment. It ate a lot of our capital and our profits, but it was way worth it. We thought, let's go with red rubber, old school, wooden block, the whole bit, beautiful stamps. And then the business took off, and we did those for quite a long time. It's a lot of work. I've seen a lot of companies try to do the red rubber stamps and stuff like that, and I think people just don't realize how much time commitment it actually takes. I mean, small business is a lot of time commitment. You know, you're a one-person show doing a little of all, and I think people just don't realize how much time it really does take. And customers will send you multiple requests, and it's so important to make sure that you figure out your schedule so that you can, you know, be there to help them. So we did that for approximately 7 or 8 years. The Etsy store took off faster than we could keep up with it. And we were doing the photopolymer stamps as well as the red rubber stamps. And I absolutely loved it. It was such a good time. We made all kinds of great friends that I still have as friends to this day. And then we decided it was time to go back and reinvent ourselves again, because I always think about like musicians like Madonna or David Bowie or, you know, even Elvis. Everyone went in, and you have to go in and reinvent yourself. Because if you're the same all the way through, people get comfortable, they get, you know, nothing's changed. And at that point, we decided it was time to introduce a character. And so I designed our adorable little Brentwood owl and got him all copyrighted, trademarked. He's, you know, ready to go. And my initial goal was that I wanted to write a book. And at that same time, I started a family, I bought a house, life evolved. And again, like I said, as a small business owner, if you can't commit and you are the only one playing all the instruments, it will take a toll. And it's tough. I'm not going to lie, it's tough. But if you love what you're doing and you find a small business that is your hobby passion, you love it every day, you know? And I love to draw, and I love to, you know, work with my customers and design them things that are original and one of a kind. I mean, I do a lot of that for weddings. I do a lot of cute character things like this as well. I love it when you cut them out. They always look like paper dolls. So we designed Brentwood, started on that path, and found a newfound success with him. And I love Brentwood. He is, my kids know what his name is. They, you know, he's a staple in our family, and I love it. And so after, I'd say a couple of months of kind of promoting Brentwood, we started with a whole series of new stamps that included some of our favorites that you've seen before, our dog stamps and Brentwood. And we started getting into quite a few online stores. So we had been in Cat Scrappiness, we had been in quite a few other locations, as well as we were selling some on Amazon, as well as through our store, and then also through Etsy and eBay, just to, again, kind of get our name out there a little bit more. We have, if you go and look at our list of accolades, we have been just completely blessed, where we have been in Oprah magazine with our custom stamps. We've been in Joy, the movie Joy with Robert De Niro. We were in the Oscar grab bags. We have been in quite a few YouTube videos where we've made custom stamps for different YouTubers who have small businesses. And that's kind of what I love. You know, we've found this fun place for ourselves. And I love doing this. And, you know, I think it's so much fun. So in 2014, we had a little bit of a surprise where some of our art was stolen. You know, as an artist, it's really tough because when you draw things, you take it personal because it's your art. And it sort of scared me away from wanting to draw and share anymore. And I really wasn't sure if we were going to continue moving forward. And I felt I actually felt lost. It was just a very odd time. And I don't know. It was just not what I was hoping or expecting. And, you know, when people come back and say, oh, well, you just buy that art, you know, from those companies and let's just, you know, other countries, right? Well, no, no, I sit down and draw it with a black ink pen. They literally stole the art and produced things using my art. And, you know, you get people that just don't understand that process. And I went through about 6 months of just feeling kind of hopeless. Like, I don't, you know, I've always wanted to own my own business, and I just didn't know if it was still a reality anymore. And I remember going to bed it was some random middle of the summer night, 2019. And I had been to the point where I told my husband, it's either keep moving forward or we stop. And then we have to come up with a new dream. And he said, why didn't you sleep on it? Tomorrow, let's see, right? And I kid you not, I went to bed. I had a dream about starting a video live session where I interview other card makers and company owners called Behind the Card. And in my dream, like, that was like the start of the catalyst that kind of sparked me up again and got me going. And I kid you not, it really was. I had last year I went through and I had 12 or 13 episodes, and I'm working on it. I want to go ahead and do another season. It was so much fun. I loved being able to take the time to interview, and I don't know, it really just kind of got me thinking about card making and small business, being a small business owner. And so one of the things that I think I want to do for 2021 is I want to start recording stuff like this. You know, I want to share how we got started. I want to share some small business tips. I'm going to show you how to do some of this stuff. Not to say that you need to own your own rubber stamp company. That's a whole nother, you know, animal in itself. Find something that means something to you. And I hope that we can inspire you to, you know, down the road, you know, you get to a point that 16 years later, you're recording a video about, you know, how you started and struggles and successes, and, you know, for other people to find that, just, it means the world to me. And I had such a wonderful first season of Behind the Card, and the people that I had on the show, I literally found them on Instagram, and every single one of them were just more amazing than the next. And they're still my friends, and they still write me, and I love it. Oh, look at his little eyes. I love putting the glossy accents, because it just makes them look like they just have that little wet, teary eye. So that's Jessica Lynn Original. So we just celebrated our 16th birthday, anniversary, whatever I want to call it. And I can't wait. I feel more inspired. The Behind the Card was really the start. We went through a little bit of a down personal issues at the beginning of 2020, and now I am completely ready for this. I am so excited that you took the time to listen. If you like this kind of video, you know, comment down below. Anything else you'd have questions about with a small business, I'd love to answer for you. But I do want to say thank you so much, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Take care, everybody.